will test you in every way possible.
Somebody else go!
This event will push you beyond your limits.
Hi, I'm Nick Miller. I'm here today with Major Bucciarelli, aka Black Sheep 6. He's the organizer of Operation Blacksheep at Pine Plains. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing good, Nick. How
Good,
are you?
good. Not bad. I'm hanging in there. Major, tell me, where are we today and what are we going to be doing here? What are you guys organizing?
We are at the Fort Drum Urban Training Facility up in near Watertown, New York, and we are getting ready to kick off a 21-hour force-on-force continuous combat simulation.
Wow, that's a long time.
That's a real long time.
So this obviously isn't your first operation here. Tell me a little bit about like where you've come from, about the first op and where we are now.
Well, I actually started in this sport almost 10 years ago, and at Tallinn, Massachusetts, and have seen the sport grow over a number of years. We did our first event up here in 2008, and we call those guys Pathfinders, and they were the first 90 guys that ever came up here to Fort Drum, and they hold a very special place in my heart because they took that leap of faith to do something that wasn't even in their imagination at that point. Where we've come from that exercise almost 5 years ago, very small, everybody was in them outside, very small Frago missions, to Operation Blacksheep at Pine Plains, that I'm actually planning on sending out platoon-sized Frago missions.
Wow.
So it really says a lot about the proficiency of the player population, because as they get better, the event gets better.
I understand that. Speaking of the players, what kind of caliber player do you normally see at your operations?
We see a variety. There are guys that are very proficient at their local fields that think that they're ready for this, and in many cases they have a rude awakening when they get here.
Right.
I've talked to a lot of teams and have found out just recently that many teams are planning their entire year around coming to this event.
Oh, no kidding. All right.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about MilSim, because this is definitely a big step away from, you know, your backyard skirmishes.
Oh, definitely. Well, first of all, the venue is a professional training venue used by the United States Army. This is as real as my 30 years of training experience can make it. I hit everybody on every sensual level that I can find.
Right.
I hit them with sights, sounds, smells, and the physical challenge of 21 hours of combat. And it's a gut check. It really is.
I can understand that. And this is quite a facility. I mean, how did you make this happen? I mean, look at the playing field.
Well, it actually took me 6 months to get in here.
6 months?
6 months of
Wow.
staffing to work it through the chain of command at Fort Drum, and they love us here. One of the reasons is that we respect their facility.
Right.
We actually try to leave it better than we found it, and the players enjoy playing here, and Fort Drum enjoys having us here.
That's great. That's great. So, you know, I got to say the price tag on this event was not chump change. For that amount of money, what does that, you know, buy your average player on the field here?
The difference between a local and a regional and a national level game is, and the reason that these games are such pricey, if you want to call them, is the resources that we can bring to bear to make that experience unlike anything you've ever done before. The sights, the sounds, the cadre. You know,
Right.
I run this event with about 20 retired Army infantry guys.
Wow, great.
And as cadre, as platoon tacs, as observer controllers, range safety officer, all combat veterans that know how to make an event safe. And that's my number one concern, is player safety.
That's great. That is great. And so, for the commanders of each team, Alpha and Bravo, those are also
All retired Army.
That is so neat.
Yeah.
That's great.
And it adds that, don't get me wrong, it takes those Army guys a little bit of time to transition from real-world tactics to airsoft tactics.
Right.
But once they make that change, they add that realism to the event, as far as, you know, tactical awareness, tactical briefings, and just making sure that everything runs smoothly.
Yeah, well, I am definitely looking forward to being submersed in this MILSIM operation here. We appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Anytime.
All right. I'm here with Jeff Frelick and Jim Moore, the Bravo Company commander and First Sergeant. Gentlemen, how are you doing today?
Pretty good. How about you?
Not bad. I'm hanging in there. So tell me, what are we here for today?
Kick off company's ass.
I like it. All right.
That's our only mission.
Fair enough.
We don't have any strategy at all. Just,
no strategy?
Just kick butt.
Just kick butt. All right. Fair enough. So we've got a lot of different players here. What are you expecting from, to see from your players today?
Well, they're going to get tired, throughout the night. Usually about, 12, 1 o'clock, they'll start getting tired. That's when we'll send Jeff around. He'll jump in a sleeping bag with a few people, to get them up and things like that. But, basically just keep their motivation up and make sure everybody's safe.
Sounds good. Sounds good. This is kind of the evolution of a lot of different games. What have you seen throughout the years with Black Sheep?
I've been here since the beginning, since the very first Operation Pine Plains in November of 2008. Mm-hmm. And since then, we've grown exponentially, increasing our player base by 5 times the amount we played with the very first game. The evolution of the players is staggering. A lot of the people started out not having a lot of real tactical skill and stuff when it came to fighting in a mount site and fighting in this type of environment. And through classes that they've taken, practices that they've been practicing with in their own squad level and in their home state, wherever they came from, they are starting to step it up and get to this level. So when they come here, it's a challenge for them, but also they have the skills that they need in order to be successful in the battlefield. They pay for a military experience, and it's our job to give them the military experience. This is the closest thing to combat, and I'm talking from experience, and Jim will say the same thing too. We're both combat vets. It's the closest you'll ever get to real combat without being there. And it's our job as the company cadre team and my platoon leaders and stuff that I've hand-selected to come out here and do this, to give them that full military experience and take them to the next level of airsoft competition. When they go home from here, this is something that they will never forget. And I guarantee they'll be back, because half of the 500 plus people that we have out here are return customers. This is the epitome of airsoft competition.
Excellent. Well, gentlemen, thank you for your time. I really appreciate it.
See you on the field.
Yeah, sounds good. So we're here with Jeffrey McCool, the company commander for Alpha. Jeffrey, thank you for your time. I really appreciate it.
Glad to be here. Glad to be here.
Right. So tell me a little bit about what we're doing today.
Oh, well, we got the mount site here at Fort Drum. We've got about 500 highly motivated players ready to come out here and participate in this military simulation. The cadre we've got out here, we've got a lot of military experience, so we're going to be able to provide hopefully a fairly realistic military simulation. Keep pushing these guys through the wee hours of the morning. Keep the action going.
Yeah, stay motivated through the night. I like
Absolutely.
it. I like it. So you have previous military experience, right? Tell me a little bit about what would draw someone who has combat experience, military experience, to an event like this, to work with Black Sheep, Major Bucarelli. What draws you to this event?
For me, it's an opportunity to share experiences and knowledge with individuals that may not have ever participated in military conflicts, combat, and give them a sense of what it really is like, what it takes to go out and pull through and suck it up when it really starts to hurt.
Like you said, the intestinal fortitude.
Yeah, it's that's been my experience. Is a lot of people play the PlayStation games, and playing PlayStation's one thing, doing it's another, and this kind of gives people a sense of that. So by coming out here and adding even more of a military spin on it, Army combat spin, it definitely helps the event.
Yeah. So what are you looking for as a company commander? What are you looking for from your players? Like, what do you expect from the guys that are going to be serving under you today?
Well, the first thing I'm hoping for is that we've got initiative. People willing to get out there, see the opportunities and take them. This is a big group, 250 people on a team. We're running 5 platoons, so that's going to be a lot of people running around. We can't have the situational awareness at the command level of knowing every little thing that's going on. So we need people to take that initiative to make things happen and grab the points.
Sure. So, in your experience with this very unique playing field, what are some of the challenges that we'll see out on the field as we go through the next 24 hours?
The biggest challenge is going to be fatigue. I mean, my experience. It's not a physical challenge of what we see out here. There's those physical challenges just by the nature of the urban terrain.
Right.
The experience level of some of the younger players that may have not ever played on anything this built up, this many buildings is going to be a factor for some of them as well. Understanding the angles of mount. Anybody with military experience understands, you're out in the streets, you're going to die. A lot of people here, we see them, they like to spend time in the streets. We don't like to get into buildings because there might be somebody in there, and that's going to be a challenge, is getting people into buildings, off the streets, keeping them, again, motivated, not letting fatigue set in, getting people to take breaks so they can make it the whole 24 hours.
Oh, excellent. Well, thank you for your time. I really appreciate it, and I'm looking
welcome.
forward to serving under you today. So.
It's going to be a fun day.